Hi there and welcome. I got you a new dragon build, this time for the Mystics with Summoner School. So, the whole thing is very quick, powerful, mean, scaly, and full of mages. It's a very fun package, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I've been playing around with a couple of new tools that were introduced with the new update, and, well, check it out. It's a lot of fun. It is, again, stupidly powerful and has beaten the strongest AI player here on the field in a risky battle already a while ago. So it really works out well, even before all the dragons. Now, let's start out with the racial and cultural traits. I went with the Swift Foot Raptor mounts out of a simple reason: the slippery passive. So, your mages all can just walk away if they get engaged and shoot back. This is the power of these little beauties, and surely you can use them differently, but I was intrigued by the option of that, and since basically every important caster in your ranks has one of these mounts, it's a real fun thing. So feel free to adapt into something else if you don't like that, but it's really cool. I went into Adaptable to have faster evolving units, and since the Mystic update, I can hardly advocate for any other one-point trait. And I went into Hardy to have a powerful backline. You can, of course, also go into extra magical damage, or replace the Swiftfoot Raptor mounts with the one that gives you more range options. No, not more range, more accuracy, I'm sorry. You've got options. So, in the cultural traits, I went for mana channelers, as this is invaluable for all of the summoner builds nowadays, and mana addicts, which gives you a attunement which makes your units gain lifesteal whenever you cast a spell. Since we are super spammy and we can easily afford to cast a spell each and every turn, this one is easily to fulfill and gives your cultural units a nice robustness that you don't need to pay with anything else. I really like that, as the Summoning School powers up their Magic Origin units with temporary HP and strengthened stacks whenever you cast a spell, so seriously, what's not to like about that? It's a real nice combo. If you haven't unlocked it, feel free to go for anything else. I wager for something that increases either your battle mages and supporters skills or something between these lines. Now then, let's move over to our tomes that we're rocking here. So, first one, evolution. We're picking this up out of many reasons. First off, we want evolve, we want youthful rejuvenation, as this gives all of our units with evolve a resurgence stack until the end of combat. This means all of the evolving units can be used in a kamikaze way, and that spell is also very spammable, as it is dirt cheap. Even more so with the soothers on your side that lower the casting spell costs. The Wyvern Fledgling is a magic origin unit and is very powerful and one of the main backbones of your entire game here with this build. They are super cheap to summon, very nice fighters with a good damage profile. They go even stronger when they go low, and due to rapid evolution enchantment, they gain also the slip away trait, which gives them a second life if they start dying. Combined with youthful rejuvenation, this makes them hard-hitting, hard-to-kill menaces on the battlefield. Rapid evolution, sorry, rapid evolution enchantment is very important for your entire build, as it powers up all of your evolving units, and yeah, super stuff. The Slither Hatchling is optional, as they are no magic origin unit. You can easily use them, as your entire build is really good at bringing up units. Still, I found them rather underwhelming and not so fitting for the rest of the build, and I'd rather fill the slots up with other units from the Tome of Evocation, for example. But real quick pointer still towards the Shepherd trade. By all means, don't sleep on that. This is super powerful and makes all of your young tier 3 dragons a lot more powerful and a lot cheaper. Good stuff. So, the other tier 1 I picked up was Evocation. After lots of thinking, I came up with no better excuse to pick up. There's a lot of potential alternatives, but none fits so well to the Mystics. We gain lightning focus, which makes all of our battle mages and supporters more potent in all ways and means. Lightning blades synergizes with everything we do as well. All of our fighters gain an edge in terms of damage. Fulmination is a nice AoE nuke. If we don't need to heal, we can then deal damage. And the lesser storm spirits are exactly the reason why I personally don't think we need the slithers at all, because they're nice shock troopers, which evolve into tier 3 storm elementals, which are really hard to kill, nice feature a nice backline access, and yeah, they're really nice dudes. And the evokers are the much needed tier 2 battle mage that you require for your roster, as the summoners have no tier 3 battle mage, they have a tier 3 supporter. So these guys fill in exactly that blank. They are pretty nice in their base damage. The electrifying arc is a pretty sweet little AoE nuke tool. If you line up 3 or 4 of these people, this is after all also like an AoE. So yeah, love that book a lot. Also, the channeling tower gives you a nice amount of extra mana. Tier 2, Revelry. It's a very, very powerful and important tool for our entire build. As not all of our units are magic origin units and can be leveled up with Astral Echoes, more about that in the strategy section, we need the extra XP boost via, for example, Revels of Carnage. Smack that on all units that you can't evolve with Echoes. Blood Fury weapons, which gives all of our fighters again a nice advantage in terms of critical hit chances. The extra morale plays in very nicely, as the Summoner's School works like every non-magic origin unit that you got boosts the morale of your magic origin units. So there's a strong morale gameplay implemented already in that build, and the Blood Fury weapons enhance that really nicely. The Scalds are amazing backliners with an insanity attack. This is really powerful. A little bit hard to achieve with a 40% base chance. They got nerfed recently because too powerful, but they're still really nice. Their spells are point blank AoEs and give you more damage potential and a little bit of extra regeneration. But mostly are these guys amplifiers for your damage, and very, very versatile. And last but not least, Reveler's Heart is really good for your racial units. Not so much of a must-have, but very much a nice-to-have. And Reveler's Triumph, yeah, this is really, really cool, as we are very critical hit heavy in this build. So, moving on over to not the Tome of Summoning, that was just an experiment for this run, but the real fun lies in the Tome of Artificing for this build. As we don't need the extra healing from the Tome of Summoning, and we don't have a heavy spread of magic origin units. I tried it, it is not as fulfilling as this one. Artisan Armaments, more critical hit chance, very synergistic with what we already do with the Revelry Tome. Siege Magic, more damage for all of our magical backliners and sieging potential for them. Really nice. Iron Golems, if we are really desperate for a robust iron shield unit, we don't need them that badly. You can easily skip them. But don't skip the Bolt Repeaters or the Artisan Fortifications, as these are really nice offensive or defensive tools that are really, really kick-ass. The Golem Assistant passive is really cool if you can bring it in. Extra units never hurt, we all know that. And Golem Mines, hell yeah, what's not to love about Golem Mines? So, Tier 3, obviously we want to go into the Tome of Dragons first. These guys are the stuff that you want early on and as fast as possible, as we want to evolve them as fast as we can into the Tier 5 level. But this book features a lot of other goodness. Flamer Focus is a super nice add-on to your evokers, turning them into a artillery mage stuff. This is really cool, as we gain 2 spells that we can use from the backline to inflict AoE damage, and this really ranks up the evokers into a level where they are viable into the late game, especially when they have a high level of experience. Purifying Flame, 1 hex radius burst heal with status effect removal. Wow, love that. It's not to love about that. Draconian Transformation is also really nice, as we gain Draconic Rage for all of our units, the cultural ones that is, and Natural Regeneration. So, Natural Regeneration is really cool when your army is fully healed, but it is one of the more underwhelming racial transformations in my humble opinion. Just my personal stance, especially since the temporary HP from Natural Regeneration can never exceed your starting HP. That's just... I wish they would remove that because it's an unnecessary gimping of the skill. The world map regeneration, though, this is kick-ass. This is really, really powerful as it gives your armies a lot of staying power and robustness. Anyways, Dragon Attack, really nice siege project as it really gives you an edge, and the ability to recruit wyverns in your cities is really nice, as it frees up your Astral Echo spending now into powering up the recruited wyverns instead of evolving your wyverns. It's a big step forward. It also cranks out a nice amount of knowledge, and it's really, really cool. And fire bombs for your heroes, if you can bring it in, it's really cool as well. So, Tier 3, I went for this build with the Tome of Devastation, as it really brings a lot of goodness to the table. You could also go for Amplification if you wanted to. Very good choice too, but it has too many elements that don't synergize too well with this build. If anything, if I'd be swaying away from the Devastation path, it'd be for the Tome of Cleansing Flame, as the Pyre Templars are an excellent late game fit to everything you already got, and since you are already pretty much opted into fire and stuff, pretty much everything here comes in handy. It is just only a low synergy because we have no Zeal implemented, but you can also feel free to bring in the Tome of Zeal at tier 1 instead of the Evocation one. It works, it's just not my favorite playstyle, but you have options on that point. And tier 4, I personally vouch for Demon Gate and Astral Convergence. Demon Gate is really fascinating in the hands of the Mystic Summoners, as we will see everything out of this book are magic origin units. So enjoy that. It's a really fun package. So let's move on over to the strategy and the roster. Arcane Guards, forget about them. They are totally useless in this build, as Arcanists are only good to be replaced by Evokers. The entire tier 1 ranks should not be produced at all, instead spam as many Mystic Projections early on. This is much more potent than any of these tier 1 units. If anything, in the early game, you want to spam out Lesser Storm Spirits once you unlock them, and the Wyvern Fledglings. These are your tier 1 units that you want to go for. So that is really something worth noting, because these will be benched very, very quickly. So quickly that I even recommend not even building them at all, except maybe for 1 or 2 Arcanists if you are really desperate for some ranged power. Can happen. Now then, tier 2, Evokers, once you have them, these are your main backbone battle mages. Soothers are really cool, as they are our main healing source for all of these that don't get automatically healed by spamming spells. They also feature a nice ability to make spells cheaper, and, well, they have a pretty decent damage, but shouldn't bring too many of them. It's the hardest part to balance out how many Soothers you want. I usually rock 2 or 3 of these. Spell shields fill in the blanks in between until you have the dragons. These are, again, units that have a really high usefulness. They die quite often, but that's their job. Use the stunning flesh to immobilize stuff that is getting into your face too quickly, and don't feel too bad about them dying eventually, because they will they want to be replaced with other stuff. Tier 3, Skulls, like I already said, are really cool. They don't feature too much healing, but they have a nice damage profile, inflicting insanity to the enemy and boosting up everyone around them. They are okay to die, as they are bound to be in the front line, so don't take it too heavy if they die. The summoners of yours are powering up your magic origin units, namely mostly the wyverns, which makes these wyverns really go crazy with extra retaliation attacks and frenzy. Love that. You can also fetch that astral bond on whoever is handy, but I found wyverns to be the most regular recipients here. The mainstay of these guys is that they are able to spam even more units on the table, elementals that is, and as an add-on they have a pretty decent ranged attack. I love these guys as they're really, really strong in any aspect, and I did never regret to have a lot of these on the table. And the dragons, well, their main benefit is they have an AoE tail swipe, which is really cool, And since they are evolving units, you'd only need to slap Youthful Rejuvenation once on these guys, and then they can go dying, but you don't need to worry about that at all. This is so amazing that I instantaneously forgave them the fact that we can't level them up with Astral Echoes, which really made me almost cancel this build, but it ain't as bad as I thought. So, Wyvern fledglings, like I said, are for themselves not much. We want to evolve them, and this is where your main investment of sparks or astral echoes will go into early on. And like I said, once you have the ability to recruit them via the Wyvern Eyrie, I would strongly recommend saving your astral echoes henceforth and boost the hell out of these guys, because you have the ability to instantaneously turn a tier 3 unit into a legend, making it effectively almost as powerful as a tier 5, but at least as powerful as a tier 4 unit, which is an insane thing on this build, which I personally found much more powerful than I anticipated. So this build gives itself out as a dragon build, but is secretly a Wyvern build. You could feel free to add in some tomes that synergize with animals as well. I saw that as an option, but then you lose synergy with the Mystic School again. That's a little bit of a pickle and hard to balance out. I love this version for all its flexibility and robustness, as your spellbook is full with abilities to keep yourself alive. Forget the Arcane Restoration, though. If you want to go for the summoning build, though, for the summoning tome, it is not the worst of options, as it gives you Arcane Supercharge for all of your elementals and wyvern needs, and some nice units that you can summon on the battlefield, and some nice fighter units that you can summon out of everything. So, where do we end up strategy-wise with this build? At a very, very insane pacing. The thing about this build is you should just spam out Wyvern fledglings early on and evolve them as fast as you can with your echoes. And this way, you have a brutally early supply of tier 3 units. It is just amazing. And you can do the same with the storm elementals. Unlike my other builds that focused more around elementals pure, this build excels at a lot of robustness, as the Tome of Evolution gives you insane amounts of survivability. And if you have Tome of Evolution, it is so darned easy to bring those dragons into their next evolution form. The problem about the dragons is, don't overestimate their value. They are high maintenance units, they're very costly, and in a very horrifying way, they are worse than other tier 5 units due to their high cost. But the fact that you can just make them happen more or less passively eases out all of their weakness towards other tier 5 units. But for example, Reapers or Horned Gods have much more versatility and potency on the battlefield than a regular tier 5 dragon. It's very important to note that out. Last but not least, your tools on the summoner's end, the Astral Ward and the extra summons on your heroes, are amazing. One of the main abilities of this build is that it can flood the battlefield with stuff. Of course, signature skills always help, but you got Spirit Summoning. You have an extra Astral Ward on your heroes. You gain also the ability to learn Master Summoner, which makes your Wyverns even stronger. So, like I said, this is secretly a Wyvern build, which also features dragons. But it's very, very potent in any aspect, and its main weakness, as I figured, was that your ranged attack profile is a little bit lackluster. Your main strength is at the front line. Your backliners are more for support and picking off targets and softening up targets. It's just the mainstay there. Yeah, economy-wise, you need a lot of mana for this build, and that is another reason why I went for the Summoners School, even though the dragons can't be leveled up with the Echoes, as the Summoners feature the Summoner's Cistern, which is just a lot of mana income, and you can also slap out the Astral Monolith, and yeah, you have really a lot of mana potential with that one. Leader wise, I went for the Eldritch Ruler here, as I love the Dark Knowledge Ritual combo and Enthralling Population combo there. Use that just on a Vassal City and have fun with that. And last but not least, Imperium wise, one really wonderful trait of this build is that the Chaos thing here gives you this thing. Impressment gives you, again, even faster evolution on your tier 1 units, so you can really use all those astral echoes into kick-ass wyverns. And, try them out, have fun with them. Wyverns are really cool for you, that's all I can say. And of course, you can also try a dragon main hero. Works well thematically as well. I wouldn't go for a champion. I can see a wizard king working here as well, but yeah, that's it. I'm out. Enjoy. Dragon builds are always fun to build, and this one is extremely volatile due to the extreme early availability of tier 3 units. Again, it's a lot of fun. It explodes into the face of the AI enemy in a terrifying speed, and I think I said everything that was necessary. Oh no, one last thing. So if you ever capture any evolvable Magic Origin units, keep them. They're just really good, and you often get something out of cages or stuff like that. So you can also keep an eye out on the Rally of the Lieges, as there are sometimes really cool Magic Origin units also lying on the ground. This is very synergistic with this build in any aspect. So feel free to comment. I think this build can be tweaked in some directions where I have no feeling as if it would get better or worse. This means this build is very versatile and flexible, which is a very good thing. So leave a thumbs up, consider subscribing, check out the description box, feel free to support the channel. You find the links down there. Thanks for everybody who does so, and see you all next time. Bye bye.